Hello everyone, welcome to Trades Talk. Thank you for sticking with me through that trying time. I didn't know that the new update for OBS would need an encoder update on my video card. So that was nice. And then NVIDIA was being just a garbage website to deal with. The built-in NVIDIA updater on my laptop is just absolute trash. So thanks for nothing, NVIDIA. I had to do it all myself. Anyways, with that all behind us, just welcome DJ Ronnie G. I saw Jay's Daddy. I saw Vina. I saw AC. So I hope you guys, thanks for sticking around and not giving up on me. Real late to this one, but we'll forge ahead and do what I always do, and that's talk about the trades. And first of all, go to the MRO magazine, as this has a little bit better news than Plant magazine, so I decided to have a look and see what they've got, and something piqued my interest here. It says Alaska/Yukon sign highway maintenance agreement. Yes, Vina, victory. Ugh, what an ordeal. I don't want to do that again. Let's have a look and see what this says. The governments of Alaska and Yukon have come to an agreement on highway maintenance during Alaskan Governor Mike Dunleavy's February visit to Yukon, his first official visit since becoming the governor 5 years ago. A memorandum of understanding was signed between Dunleavy and Yukon Premier Ranj Pillai. By working cooperatively with our neighbors in the Yukon, we can help ensure that people traveling to or from Alaska on the road are able to do more safely with fewer road hazards, Gordon Dunleavy stated to media during the visit. The result is the Alaska Highway Yukon Territory Permafrost Repairs Project, wisely referred to simply as the project in the MOU. Sidestepping the unwieldy AHTR or PRP acronym, which will see Alaska provide the funding for road repairs that will be carried out by Yukon on the stretch of highway on the Canadian side leading to the Alaskan border. The vast majority of cars that use that highway are Americans driving to and from Alaska. Since 1977, repairs and maintenance of the ALCAN, or Alaska Canadian Highway, have been funded through a U.S.-Canadian Highway Construction Funding Accord called the Shockwak Agreement. However, with road conditions on the highway deteriorating due to thawing permafrost and other impacts, a new agreement was required. Hey, Alex Moore, how you doing? How's my Macross buddy? The guy in a cookie hat. Hey, welcome. Haven't seen you before. Glad you come by. I was a little late because I had a little trouble with OBS needing an update. Or my video card needed the update to operate with OBS because OBS says it was out of date. So finally got things rolling. And as I do here, I talk about the skilled trades and go over a little bit of news in industry. So I hope that's what you're looking forward to. The project, it says, will be included in Alaska's 2024 to 2027 statewide transportation improvement program, supported by Alaska's apportionment funding. Funding will be made available on a reimbursement basis. We're working together and pursuing common goals. We aim to shape a future of shared opportunities for our region, said Premier Pillai. This visit signifies a key milestone in strengthening our relationship, fostering a collaborative path towards a more interconnected future for both Alaskans and Yukoners. An intergovernmental relations accord aimed at information sharing and fostering further cooperation was also signed. So that's good, working together, because that area is very inhospitable. It's rough country. It sees a lot of sub-zero temperatures, and that plays havoc with all kinds of roads and all that up there. So it's good they're working together to make a better, more friendly relationship between our countries. A Kelowna company is to maintain spy planes. Okay, what's that all about? Kelowna-based KF Aerospace have won the maintenance contract for the Royal Canadian Air Force new surveillance planes. The federal government announced plans in late November to replace the Lockheed CP-140 with the Boeing P-8A Poseidon. Cost for the planes runs just shy of $6 billion, part of an over $10 billion deal being negotiated with Boeing. I would think people would be a little bit gun-shy about dealing with Boeing now with some of those things that have been happening. Hey, Veritax, how you doing? Good to see you. It is said that the deal will create an estimated 3,000 new jobs, though with many of the details not yet finalized, it is unclear where those jobs will be located or what specific maintenance services will be provided. And hello to you too there, Anime Night. Stop by and say hi and show support. You're going live on your channel with Chrono Cross, the original, not the remaster. Hey, Chrono Cross. That's a good one. Hope you have a fun time, and thank you for stopping by. Let's see. The jobs we will be adding will be highly skilled labor jobs, said KF Aerospace spokesman Matt Stone, mostly aircraft maintenance engineers that are the backbone of our workforce. They are high-quality jobs. Oh, if Angry Canadian's still around, you hear this? Aircraft maintenance engineers, you're going to be doing that. The P-8A will be used for anti-submarine and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, according to the Department of National Defense. The first plane is due to be delivered in 2026, at which point KF Aerospace work will begin. KF Aerospace have decades of experience working on civilian Boeing models, though never before for military applications. KF Aerospace's growing relationship with the Boeing company has led to more high-quality jobs at our company and increased economic benefits around our operations in British Columbia and Ontario, said the company CEO Tracy Med in a media release. This partnership empowers us to increase the skills of our workforce while continuing to establish our company as a leading Canadian aerospace firm and extend our global reach. You guys voted for it, so you adhere to the request and the vote of the people. You all wanted Chrono Cross, so here it is. Yeah, Anime Night. More jobs in Kelowna for them maintaining some military planes. With this agreement, Canada becomes the final member of the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance to adopt the Boeing P-8A. Following the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand, Defense Minister Bill Blair noted in a news conference that the P-8A is not only the right choice, but frankly, the only choice. I find that hard to believe, but whatever. I'm sure there's some better planes out there. It's just they probably cost more, or maybe they got kickbacks from dealing with this company. You never know. WAGO appoints Railroad and Transportation Industry Manager. Join us for Machines in Motion, a safety primer webinar on April the 10th. Okay. When's that? That's Wednesday. I think that's put on by this magazine here. A webinar. So that kind of leads into my title for this one is training is key. Even if you're not in the trades, you can still get training, of course. And to me, being trained up is a benefit to you and the company. But it's also a benefit to you even more because you can take that with you wherever you go then. So today, and I bring this up because today I went out and my forklift operator certificate was going to expire on Friday, so I went out because they expire every 3 years. So I went out and I booked myself a training course, and it only took about 6 hours. It's pretty good. Pretty good training course. They have quite the thick textbook to use, but seeing as how I had everything set up before the whole fiasco with OBS, but now I have to sort of look for the videos I had up here. So something like this, right? Like forklift training. Oh, that's a stand-up though. The one I took today was a sit-down counterbalance. It was a good video I thought I saw here. Oh, there I am. Okay, yeah, forklift, how to operate forklift, counterbalance training. So you can go through all this and watch what they do and how to do things, and that's important. That gives you the basis. The groundwork is laid. You know how to check over a forklift. You know how it's going to tip over. And that's good. You get that from the training institute. But then they will not say that you're competent. What declares you competent is when you go back to your job site and you perform for the safety manager or who happens to be in charge of the training, and you show them how you operate the forklift, and then they decide, okay, yes, you are competent. And so then you're able to use that unsupervised for all your loading, unloading, whatever it needs to be done, because you can put all sorts of things, all sorts of attachments onto a forklift. You can put on a jib and turn it into sort of a crane. You can put on a basket and have it so that people that are performing maintenance can climb in there and get lifted up to heights that our ladder can't reach. There's like clamshell attachments, so you can pick up bales, all sorts of stuff. So let's see, I'm pretty sure. So today was pretty good, going through and just learning the book work, taking the test, and that's fine. Pass the test and then do the practical. And when you have a good instructor, he'll show you what needs to be done, and then he tells you to go do it. He's like, okay, I want you to do this, and then you go do it. And he stands back and he'll critique you, and he'll let you know if you're good. So as you can see here, this is from Central Carolina Technical College, and this is right up your alley here. Forklift training for beginners. So that's exactly what they make you do. You got pallets on there. You go around pylons to know how your forklift swings, because that back end really has quite the large swing radius, and so you have to be careful, especially while they're outside. But when you're in a warehouse somewhere with very narrow aisleways, you have to be extremely careful, otherwise you'll knock stuff over, and it gets very costly and very dangerous for yourself because things will fall on you. So that's pretty much what they do. They make you run a course there. And if you're operating this, you'll know that once you hit the middle of your front wheel, where the axle is, that's when you start your turn. That's what it pivots around. It pivots around that axle at the very front. And that's how you're able to get around and maneuver. If you're a skilled forklift operator, you can maneuver pretty much into any area. But yes, that's one thing you can get trained on. You get trained for forklift. It can be used in a lot of areas. Even I believe like Home Depot and stuff like that. They use a forklift when they're unloading. What do you call it? Like the sandbags and stuff off the back of a flat deck. Sometimes they'll have a forklift that like hangs on the back of the flat deck. and that thing gets taken. It puts itself down on the ground, and then you can pick the stuff off the flat deck and then put it back at the back of the flat deck. You like the forklift simulator, DJ? How many hours does it take to get certified on a hardware like a forklift? Tell you what, Veritax, the course is 8 hours, so 1 day for the course, and then it depends on where you work at. Some places want you to have like 8 hours of seat time in the forklift. And then after that 8 hours, they'll look you over and see if you're doing okay. And then, yeah, you'll be considered certified. Or you could be considered competent. That's the word there. Competent. And then, yeah, you're good to go. So it does not take long. You just have to remember that the back end swings, and you have to cradle the load. So when you're lifting a load, you tilt it back, and that sort of brings the center of gravity back into the, because you'll learn all about the stability triangle that the forklift has, and you have to keep your center of gravity within that stability triangle. Otherwise, you'll tip over. So yes, that's it doesn't take long. Forklift safety. Let's see what these guys have to say. Because these things can, if you're on a ramp especially, you can flip a forklift over so easily. You don't even have to be going that fast. Okay, rule number 1. You have to do daily checks. That's what they teach you. Do daily checks. So you're checking your oil, you're checking for leaks, checking your hydraulic oil, make sure there's enough. Check your filter, check your fan belt. Just making sure everything is in good shape. Yeah, always wear your seatbelt. Some will have a lockout where it won't move if you don't have your seatbelt on, or some will have so you don't if you don't have any pressure on the seat, it won't work either. So you can't operate the controls when you're not seated. So this tells you to watch out for people. And that's a good thing to do. You got to be aware because you're responsible. We learned that today. You're responsible for the people that are around. So if there's personnel around, you got to make sure, you use your horn, make eye contact, make sure they're not, make sure you come to a complete stop, shout at them, do whatever you can, if they're not paying attention. So yes, and always look in your direction of travel. If you're traveling forward, look forward. If you're traveling backward, look backward. Also you don't have to drive extremely fast. They're not meant for speed. Yeah, like they're saying here, just watch out for blind spots, slow down, 6. Make sure your driving surface is free of debris, spills, or anything else that could cause your machine to slide, bump, or become unbalanced. Yeah, watch out for all this, watch out for all the debris that can be located in your job site. 7. Never move. But without speed, how will you pop a wheelie with a forklift? I don't think you want to. How you doing, Godzillionaire? Good to see you. So don't drive around like this. You see this, how they're driving around with it up in the air? Don't do that. That moves your center of gravity out of your stability triangle, and you're going to flip over. It's just not good. Always travel low to the ground as you can, and don't make sudden turns. Be smooth. Oh yeah, they're telling them now not to be distracted by phones or, music or eating. I don't know anybody that can eat while you're on a forklift. Like, you've got one hand on the wheel, one hand on your controls. So yeah, so that's forklift. I mean, if you can get trained up on forklift, you know, it'll help you out if you want to get a different job or maybe move up in the company you're at now if you're at like a warehouse place or something like that. Any place that uses forklifts. Can't eat on a forklift? Challenge accepted. I knew you would. What else is there? So, okay, well here. Fall protection. So fall protection, you're going to use that when you're out up on a very high place like a roof, or you're going to be in an aerial platform, and you're going to need to know how to put your harness on and know how to hook it up to anything to help you with your fall arrest. Backdoor trade skills rule. There you go, Kitty Bear. How you doing? Yeah. I think using fall protection is the most important thing. If you've ever fallen, even just a little ways, you know how much you can get hurt. So if you can stop yourself from falling, that's the best thing, because you'll damage yourself for life. Just for the simplest and for the even the shortest distance of falls can really hurt you. Fall protection when you want to pretend to be Superman. There you go. Did someone say falling? We might have, Jake D. Jake D. How you doing? So yeah, we'll see what we can. Yeah, there you go. There's that style is when you're on a roof. Go back to that. So there's one style there, and you see how the cable goes along the top of the roof, and that is supposed to keep you from getting anywhere near the edge of the roof. Maybe within 6 feet, I think. Yeah, if you have any jobs to do on the roof, you'll use this style of fall protection. And you also, if you're going to do that, make sure you get, if you can, swing it. Get yourself a comfortable harness. Something that has like lots of padding in it. There you go. You see, that guy can just get to the edge of the roof. I think he's got a retractable lanyard. And he's got his harness on. It's the fall that doesn't hurt. That's right. It's the abrupt end of the fall that does. You know it, Kitty Bear. There you go. He does his work and he heads back. See, that fellow's working on top of a roof, and he's got himself all suited up as well. You fallen many times in trailer? Was no fun? Aw, Jake D, come on, man. We don't want you to fall. But yeah, I think a comfy harness is something you should look into. Make sure it's got lots of padding, good, and the quick release clips. I like those. Those are really good because you set them once, like because your harness is your own, or at least you should have your own harness, and then you can just set it to how big you are. There you go. See, buddy got caught there. Let's have a look at that again. So they got a tape measure, he drops, he goes for it, and so now he's suspended in the air. And what you can get is, you can get, they come in the little pouches, and you open up the pouch and out comes a little rope, and you stick your foot in it, and that way you don't get, if you're stuck for too long, you'll get trauma because the blood in your legs will stop flowing because of how you're seated there. And then you can get those things, put them on your feet, and stand up, and that'll help you from suffering from that. Is this the trailer for the Fall Guy movie? Yeah, there you go. Good old, we'll get Lee Majors in there, eh? You did a 15-meter fall off a scaffolding, walked away with rug burn on your butt and back. Oh. For anybody that doesn't know, 15 meters, that's about 50 feet.
That your workers need to be tied off if you're going to reach a point. Above 4 feet for general industry, above 6 feet.
Yeah, so he's saying at what height you need to be tied off, and 4 feet for general industry, and 6 feet for construction. That sounds about right.
And then you get into other things such as
What do you mean metrics are the devil, Jake D? I think I'm going to send you some undocumented packages, and you can figure it out yourself. Oh.
the potential for fall is actually pretty high with this type of stuff, and the only system that will work with this type of scenario would be a fall arrest system. So you would back the X-Series mobile grabber up to there, hang it over, and while you have a worker up there tying off, rigging up for the steel to be picked off, they're safe.
Please know this happened to you. Okay, I'll spare you this time. How about that?
This is what it takes to complete a full fall arrest system. In my training that I do for this, I actually classify as ABCDs. You need a B, your body harness, so your full body harness used.
This is how they make sure you're all hooked up properly. You don't want to fall out of your harness. It has to be properly set to your body. So when you put on a harness that's not yours, or like a community harness, you set it, you grab it, put it on, then you adjust things so it fits snugly on your body. Because if it's too loose, you'll fall right out of it. If it's too tight, you're going to be very uncomfortable. You should actually almost feel like you're not even wearing it. You landed on a dirt pile and sliding down and got you the burn. Ah, okay. Yeah, right now he's talking about sizing your harness, how you can slip a hand through, but not pull a fist out of it. You got your retractable lanyard that you have to do checks to make sure. So those things, when they feel a quick jerk on the line, it will lock up and it'll stop you from moving.
Is there a safer way to do this from the ground? You need to understand the rules and regulations and always keep to help you remember the hierarchy of controls. This should help you work through your fall protection plans and serve as a reminder to keep safety in mind. And you can download it for free using the link in the description. I hope after watching this video, you have a clear idea.
Okay, so what goes hand in hand with fall protection is aerial work or aerial platform. It used to be you didn't need, and I remember working in the days of not having to wear anything like that, but those days are long gone, and now you have to wear your fall protection when you're going to use an aerial platform. And there's all different kinds of aerial platforms. You got scissor lifts, you got these kind, tow behind trailer, you got electric ones, you got gas, you got diesel, you got articulated, you got straight boom. So any of these is can be used to get yourself up high where you need to get at something. Okay, so I've used almost all of these. So that small one right now, the portable one, you can push that around by hand. Good enough for one guy to stand in, and then you can go up, I don't know, I think it was 20 feet. but you have to extend the outriggers yourself, and they're all like screw down ones. So you just wind them down until they lift the thing off the air up, or lift the body up, and you have, I think you should have some levels to level the thing out. So that I used, yeah. The only one I don't think I've used is this one over here with the, I think the toe behind. Insurance, yeah. So much for safety. No. We're all about safety, Alex. We're all good. How does a hard hat save a person from falling metal pipes from a scaffolding when I have seen one of them dig itself into a Mercedes engine block? The answer is it doesn't. All a hard hat does is stop you from hitting your head on things. Things that are falling, they won't, if they don't go through your hard hat or hit your hard hat, they're going to hurt your neck as well. So it's not meant to stop big things. It's meant to stop small things. But even then, it's you got to be careful, because like I say, if it'll hit you on the head, it'll hurt your neck. And that might be even worse. But yes.
Mounted booms and self-propelled vertical lifts.
So these things are they're pretty good. You got indoor, you got outdoor.
This presentation should be used with the participant's guide, which you should have received from a course trainer. The operator training is designed to be general in nature, since it
What they always tell you is always read the manual for no matter what piece of equipment. Because if you get called into court for anything that happens, the first thing they'll ask you is, did you read the manual? And you can prove it to them by reading the manual, and then in the very back of the manual, sign your name and date it. That way, if they need to bring it in for evidence, you can be like, yes, I did read it. I signed it here and I dated it. So that's a little something they told us there to help us out in case we ever get into trouble.
Now, the user is someone we'll talk about in a moment. It is the owner's responsibility to make sure that the manufacturer's operator's manual is in good condition. This is a company, an institution, or another type of organization.
So they have a whole section on responsibility. I mean, that's the world we're in now. Like, I don't even remember any of it talking about responsibility back in the 90s. There was no such thing.
Now that you know your responsibilities, you need to learn about the hazards you can encounter while operating any type of...
So you can get catapulted out of these things very easily because there's such a long arm on some of these, especially the straight arm booms. You go over a curb that you don't see, or you draw, or a pothole or something, and yeah, you can get rock launched out of there, which is why you always have your harness on with a short lanyard. If you have too long of a lanyard, you'll still get flipped out of there, but you won't land on the ground. So maybe a 4-foot lanyard would be good enough.
The machine must not be moved with the platform raised unless it is designed for this purpose.
Yeah, it's like, don't move this platform with a guy in it. Don't pull sideways on your scissor lift. Yeah, don't use a ladder. What's the plural of harness? Harnai? Harness says. There you go, right there. Boom. Yeah, I know, Alex, leaning like that. Yeah. Even if it's windy out, you shouldn't go up very high. Only have one or two people in there, or what it's rated for. You've done the ladder method? Alex, don't do that. Yeah, Godzilla, catapult the stooge out of the lift. Yeah, always look around when you're lifting yourself up. Look which direction you're traveling. That one's not looking in the direction you're traveling. Right? Just terrible. Don't go anywhere near power lines. You're supposed to stay, what is that, 25 feet away?
Information about minimum safe approach distances to
You tried to change Wi-Fi adapter high on ceiling? Oh, okay.
On the machine. And really, it's that simple. Be aware that tip over, fall, collision, and electrocution hazards are outside
Darwin Awards. yeah, Godzillionaire.
Also, be reminded you'll find
It's all about just taking the time, looking around. The way people get hurt is they rush.
operating the machine.
They're rushing. They're like trying to hurry or take a shortcut. It's like, just slow down.
The safety decals have the
And,
markings of
yeah, it might be Friday afternoon. You're ready to go home, ready to start the weekend, but
decals indicate operation.
you won't get to enjoy your weekend if you're in the hospital or the morgue. So slow down.
Safe operating procedures.
Just
Injury or even
take your time, no matter what it is.
the risks are clear.
Look around carefully,
Are catastrophic.
and you'll go home. Because that's the most important thing.
Set out for both safety rules and operating instructions.
If you don't go home, there's a problem. You have people that depend on you, and people that well, for myself, I have my wife to take care of. It's what I do, and I can't do that if I'm not earning a living or I'm laid up hurt in the hospital. So it's really important for some of us,
All of which you will find outlined
but it should be important for all of us.
They are.
Like if you're on the job site and you see somebody doing something not safe,
Always perform a
stop them. Tell somebody. Tell their boss. Tell your
condition.
supervisor. Like, hey, if they don't want to listen to you, which a lot of guys do, you go over and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that, and they'll be like, get lost.
And banjo.
And you'll be like, okay, we'll see if you won't listen to your boss then.
Swing bearing and rotator bolts.
So now they're just going through the inspection that you do, and it's pretty thorough. Try to make sure nothing is bent or misaligned,
Pothole mechanism.
like with the banjo bolts. Checking your fluid levels and everything with the scissor lift. You're checking the batteries, make sure they're not corroded, make sure they've got enough water in them. Water and acid, I should say.
Electrical components.
Make sure none of the hydraulic lines are frayed or leaking, anything like that, because that'll be a problem, a big time problem for you. Crane operator ignored you, and a week later it got him killed. Oh man, that's harsh.
Decals.
Yep. So you're looking around, making sure everything's in good shape. You don't know what the guy before you did to this thing. Maybe he tried to use it as a crane or something, or maybe he hit it, or ran into something and didn't say anything to anybody. So just give it a good once over, because your life is in the hands of this machine.
And tires.
You're making sure you're going to do the job safe, and you want to go home at the end of the day.
If the machine checks out, you're ready to perform the function test, our third key concept.
He was lifting concrete plates too heavy for the crane. He kept pushing past the auto stop. Oh,
And get down safely.
that's very foolish.
Go into the work environment. We want to discover any malfunctions before the machine. Outrigger interlocks.
So they're going to do the function tests. That's the tilt alarm. You pull that thing, and the alarm will go off to let you know that you're you're too much of an angle. You always check forward, reverse, steering. Check the dead man switch, which is right there. He's putting his foot on it. You must actuate the dead man pedal before you can do any functions. So the whole point of this is the training. You train first with your fall arrest, and then you get training on aerial platform. And the more training you have, the better. You'll make yourself more valuable. The company will be not as quick to get rid of you. When layoffs come along, they'll be like, well, who can operate this? Oh, this guy can. This girl can. You know, who can operate that? Who can operate that? And it's like, well, if you're trained on multiple things, you are becoming extremely valuable to the company. So you always want to have that advantage over everyone else. You want to be, you want to be the one that stands out as the person that can operate all sorts of things and be all trained up. And most of the time, maybe most of the time, the company will pay for it. But if they don't, I say you do it yourself. A lot of these courses aren't that expensive, and it's an investment in you. So you think I'm spending this money, but you're actually investing in your ability to have a job, which I think is an important thing. You were just glad it was only him and not others? Yeah, I mean, you don't want multiple casualties on the job site. That's just terrible. Collect certs, that does get noticed. Yeah, Alex, there you go. Yes, and it says use the machine as intended. So don't use it as a crane. I've seen guys try to lift stuff up, and it's like, it's not a crane. It's going to collapse. You're going to pay for it. It's only meant to lift 500 pounds in the basket. So you and another guy and maybe some tools, and that's it. Don't use it for anything else. Well, at least these the straight arm booms here. The scissor lifts can lift a little more, maybe 1,000 pounds. But still, that's just straight up. Or specializing jobs no one wants to do. That too. If you do that, you're going to be the one they're called on to do that job that no one else wants to do. Once again, it's helping yourself keep a job. Whereas someone who doesn't want to train or do extra, or they're just there for a paycheck, you'll be there and they won't be. So
perform a pre-operation inspection on the equipment.
Now they're just going through what the steps are there. But so that's aerial platform training. I mean, and it's fun too. If you like heights, if you don't mind going up high and stuff like that, you can get into like 80-foot straight arm booms, or 60-foot articulating ones. It's good, and it helps you out, helps you reach places that you can't normally get. What's another one out there? So we went over what? What was the first one again? Not confined space. Yeah, I forgot already. Forklift training. Yeah, so forklift, easy one to get, and one that will help you out at your job, because it's in a lot of industries, right? We have a forklift at the chemical plant. A lot of industrial plants have a forklift. That's like the basic thing, so you can load and unload trucks if you have stuff that gets sent away a lot, or if it's your main distribution way to send things out, you're going to have a forklift. You're going to have a dock for trucks. And, if you're in a warehouse or, anywhere, even working at a place like Granger, or, some place where they supply you with tools and such, or where you get your perishables from, like even grocery stores, they have forklifts. So they're everywhere, because everything gets shipped around on pallets or crates or anything like that. You had papers as an electrician, got paid as one, but half the time you're digging holes and drilling holes in hard concrete walls. Oof. You had several days you would spend a whole day just drilling a single hole. Geez, how big is this hole? That's a lot. That's a lot of time to spend on just one of those. But yes, forklift, very common. Something, you know, if you want to try it out, improve your job skills, get yourself a certification as forklift operator. While you're at it, get yourself for fall arrest. So you know how to put on a harness and choose your lanyard, because that will lead into aerial platform, which you need a harness and a lanyard. And sometimes they'll have a blending of the two. I believe I went through that course where it was fall arrest and aerial platform combined, because they both go hand in hand. A little bit more in depth is something called a confined space. So confined space may not be something you run into at your job site, but it can be. You can see here, this video, these guys are coming out of places that are classified as confined spaces. Right now he was just yapping it up about how he's never seen anybody get hurt and all that, so. In the movies, they drill holes in a bank vault in minutes. In reality, depending on the wall, it could take over 24 hours to drill a single hole. Yeah, obviously, it would be a boring movie if they just they did it for real time. So what they're demonstrating right now is overconfidence or confined spaces. Anything can be a confined space if you're fat enough. Yeah, Godzillionaire. So in my career, I've dealt with a lot of confined spaces. I've had to do a lot of confined space entries. I've had to be around the rescue team for confined space entries. And yeah, a lot of it was good for me to learn, because I started out going to my first course on confined space, years ago, and just learned how to put on an SCBA, learned how to do proper rescues and retrievals of people, proper carrying techniques for carrying people out of there. All of that ties in with the taking like gas readings and such when you're inside a confined space. And also there's crossover with like hydrogen sulfide or H2S, because when you're in a confined space, there's going to be hydrogen sulfide, especially if there's like organic material breaking down, anything like that. And that's what we had when I was working in the garbage industry. There's a lot of material breaking down, and a lot of it would form hydrogen sulfide. So it all kind of like overlap. You get a little bit of overlap of everything here. It seems when you're training on something, it'll overlap to something else, right? Confined space will overlap to hydrogen sulfide. Right, because with hydrogen sulfide, same thing. You have to put on SCBAs. You have to make sure that you have your gas monitors and everything to check for all these gases or lack of gases. Some places have oxygen deficiencies or high LELs, which is like explosive gas limits. So, or there's carbon monoxide, which will displace all the oxygen in your body, and yeah, you will suffocate. So this guy's got nothing on right now, no safety gear for breathing, and his oxygen is going down, it looks like. Once it gets below 19.5%, you're going to start feeling lightheaded. So the oxyacetylene cutting says they're going to go down or take up the oxygen in there. So he's going to start passing out soon. 14% oxygen. There you go. Down you go. There you go. Down you go. Another thing they never mention in movies is how expensive it is to get through a vault wall. Well, yeah. They're not. Hollywood isn't interested in facts and figures. They really don't care. They just want to get your money and give you an exciting scene in a movie. So this looks like this happened where they had to pull guys out of a hole because they didn't take their monitor in there, or their gas monitor in there to, yeah, so they might be gone already. You never know. See, just a little thing like that. Guys thinking, it's all right. It'll be all right. We'll just go. We'll just be a little bit. We don't need to do that. Take that time. Take that time to do your due diligence. Because it's your life. It's your life in your hands. Now it's showing what can leak into those underground pipes. Yeah, Alex, the animation's awful. Well, it's sure no anime. They would do this anime style, boy. It'd be better. Shave off some time, Alex. Yeah, I mean, shortcuts are a big part of accidents. He's just said that H2S exposure will kill you in a few seconds. So, depending on the parts per million of hydrogen sulfide, because I deal in hydrogen sulfide every day. Low concentrations you can smell. When it gets up to higher concentrations, you can't smell it. And it's those higher concentrations where you'll take one inhale, and that's it. You'll pass out. You'll be like, and then down you go. So that is something to be aware of when you're inside. And this guy hopping in here after he sees the guy passed out, that's the wrong thing to do. I know he wants to help out, but don't ever jump to help somebody that's unconscious down a hole, because you'll end up just like them. Yeah, Godzilla. Leroy Jenkins. No, don't do a Leroy Jenkins, because that will be the last Leroying you ever do. Now he's talking about other stuff that could be down there in a confined space, like explosive mixtures. So once again, this ties into the whole theme of today's stream is training. So getting trained up on confined space, if it's relevant to the job you're in, or if you want to change jobs, but you take yourself a confined space course, you'll learn a lot of things. And it just helps you. You throw that on your resume. Oh yes, I'm certified confined space entrant and attendant. But right now he's testing the air. You should actually drop that rate down into the hole, though.
efficiency can occur at any level.
Yeah, see, this guy's, he's dropping it all the way to the bottom.
Some gases, such as hydrogen sulfide, are heavier than air and could
Yeah,
separate.
hydrogen sulfide is heavier than air, so you have to check at the very lowest point.
Methane will displace oxygen. It is an explosive gas and is lighter than air. Carbon monoxide has about the same weight as air, so it can be evenly distributed.
Yeah,
throughout
carbon
space.
monoxide,
It's an asphyxiant.
that'll make you
Your body from
get
absorbing
asphyxiated, and yeah, you'll just pass out.
Ensure that the tests are taken by a trained worker, and the results
And it's not just testing once either.
are on an entry
You think some places want you to test every 15 minutes?
You must first ventilate.
Some places, you know,
Test before
after 15 minutes, it's every half hour.
are within safe limits. You must still ventilate the space.
And then you can see they put in a vent ventilation. Get a fan to suck out
Never use
the,
a ventilator like a vacuum to draw air out of the confined space.
yeah, pull the air out, let some fresh, and it will fill up with fresh air. You're pulling all that stuff out, pushing it to the atmosphere, and then the other stuff the fresh air will come in.
Ventilation will provide a continuous supply of fresh air and prevent the buildup of contaminants. While workers are in the confined space, ensure that there is a worker on
So
watch
you always
to
need
rescue
an attendant, which is someone that watches over the confined space.
to conduct a rescue.
They watch over the workers inside so that he knows he stays in constant contact, and he lets them know whether they can get in or out, and he stops people from that are not authorized from going inside the confined space.
For instance,
And he'll also have contact with a rescue team who maintains
and wear a continuous gas monitor.
their
There
they
are
maintain their equipment, and they stay out of the hole unless they are needed for rescue. So
ensure the surrounding area is
if
free
the
of hazards.
attendant calls for a rescue, the rescue team comes up and they go down in and take the workers that were in there out of there.
A man watch has been initiated and emergency procedures have been established. Confined spaces can be found on many work sites, but their hazards may not be obvious. Preparation and testing are your
So
only
yeah,
defenses
I
against
think
potential killers.
that is very important now. So just these 4 basic training courses would help everyone in their career. You know, forklift, that's a very general one, especially if you're all trained up and you got some hours under your belt, because it's important to have those hours under your belt to show that you're competent. And then fall protection for going up at high places or staying or going on roofs, anything like that, which crosses over with or overlaps with aerial platform, so that you can operate that and get to many places where you can't get to with a ladder, all that sort of thing, because you can have there's even ones that are like 120 feet long. You can get a 120 foot long straight arm boom for like really high areas, but I mean, even 80 feet is plenty high for me. But yes, 120 foot long booms are pretty crazy. You get a lot of swing out of those, especially when the wind kicks up. And then confined space, maybe not applicable to many of the jobs that you're at, but there are going to be some. Anytime people go down into like storm drains, storm sewers, anything like that, looking at going down, dealing with pumps down a well, that's going to be also confined space. So it's pretty fantastic. And then, like I say, the confined space crosses over or overlaps with hydrogen sulfide, because that's one of the components that can be down there, or lack of oxygen, or carbon monoxide, or even, like I said, the flammable gases might be down there. You just never know. So there's a lot of crossover for training. And it's really neat. Once you start getting into one section of training, you cross over with another one and you're like, you know what, I should get that as well. And also forklift would cross over maybe with telehandler. And for those of you that don't know what a telehandler is, it looks like, I'll show you a picture here. This thing here.
Hi, everyone. In this video, we're going to show you the basic controls axe loads.
I just want this guy to get, I don't want to see him in the seat. I want him to show a good picture of what it looks like. Anyway, there you go. So that's a telehandler, top view. It's got forks on it. It's got big tires. It can have four-wheel steer. And it's meant for heavy loads and rough terrain. So that's kind of like, that's like a rough terrain forklift. They don't call it that though. It's got better reach. It has load stabilizers that you can put down, and it can lift. I've operated one that's like a 12,000 pound one, and that's a lot to lift. But very, very handy, very good machine. Also, like I say, it comes from like crossover with sort of the forklift. Forklift is, you're going to be using mostly on concrete or pavement, because they'll get stuck easily. These guys won't get stuck though. You have to try real hard to get these guys stuck. But yeah, the crossover is pretty neat. And well, that's probably it for the night then. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna talk about more training next time. There's some other courses out there that are really important that you should look into. One of them would be, for me, first aid. That's a good one, no matter where you are, what you're doing, what your job is. Most courses I've gone to are 2 days. So you'll do, it's St. John Ambulance, I think, for the one I went through. So you learn all how to tie up limbs and such when they're broken or stuff like that, and then you learn artificial respiration, and then you'll learn how to use the defibrillator. So it's a 2-day course, 8 hours a day. You get your first aid. You know how to help out not just people at work, but your family. Your kid falls, scrapes their knee, cuts their finger, gets a splinter, anything like that. Choking. You're now competent, or you're confident that you can save your children or your significant other, whoever it happens to be, if they're in distress. You can put that to good use. So first aid, I think, should be on the top of your list. And then you can proudly display that on your resume as being, I'm first aid compliant, or I'm competent, first aid competent. You're drilling a 1-inch wide hole into a 75 centimeter thick wall, costs around $2,000 on drill bits and new drilling machine. Even well-cooled diamond drill bit gets wrecked on those walls. Those are crazy walls. Well, I guess 75 centimeters thick, that's pretty thick, all right. Wow. Choo-choo training? Yes, DJ. Learning a tourniquet? Yeah. Yeah, they do teach you how to do that as well. Like I say, they teach you the triangle bandage, and then they get you to maneuver it around. You can put, we learned how to put up arms, like broken arms, into slings, or tie legs to splints and stuff like that. Stopping bleeding, just all that kind of stuff. It was really helpful. And then the one thing you'll learn is whether you can remain calm when there's blood around, or whether you're squeamish, or whatever it happens to be. But yes, we'll talk about that. I think we'll talk about that next time. First aid is important. And hopefully I'll see you guys there the next time. And I'm sure things will start off a little more smooth now that I've got my NVIDIA driver updated, because OBS wouldn't recognize my old driver. Thanks, OBS. But yes, it was a bank vault wall. Okay. They forgot to put in a pipe for electrical wiring. Oh, okay. That's crazy. All right, well, I had fun tonight. I hope you guys did too. Once we got rolling anyway. I hope you guys learned something, because I'm more than happy to chat about this as much as you guys like. I think it's important. We have that shortage in the trades. We need people. We need ya. People gotta come into the trades and, you know, fill those positions, because I'm not gonna be in here forever, you know. I've probably got another 15 to 20 years and then I'll be retired. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody that came out today. You guys are great. DJ Ronnie G, Vina, Alex Moore, Guy in the Cookie Hat, Veritax, Anime Knight, who's playing his Chrono Cross game, and of course Godzillionaire, Jake D, and Kitty Bear. Always good to see you guys. Alex Moore, I didn't mention you already. Anybody else that was listening and lurking, and you know, I appreciate you coming out. So you guys, I'm just some guy talking to nobody, so. Formative thing to do, costs them a lot of money and a lot of your time to fix it. Ooh. But yeah, if you guys want to do me a favor, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, tell your friends, spread the word, let them know that Pop's out here. There's some other good channels out there as well, people I watch and enjoy, like Pacific 4 and Blaine's Escape Corner. He's actually streaming right now, I think. There's Ronan66, DJ Ronnie G. There's Brandon the Anime Guy, who I was watching before I started my stream. There's Angry Canadian. He was in the chat earlier as well. Hope he's doing well. Our own Woopa Troopa. I think I saw him. He was doing Guardians of the Galaxy playthrough. And then there's Punkwaddle. You can find him at Floral from Under a Rock and Snowdub's channel. He also has his own channel where he does his ponderances. I have a Discord. It's called The Shop, because that's where all the tradesmen hang out. We hang out at the shop. Coming up Saturday, I'm playing, in honor of Akira Toriyama, playing some Dr. Slump for the PS1. This is pretty good. It's if you those of you that don't know Dr. Slump, he created that before Dragon Ball. And it stars Dr. Slump, who created an android named Aurelie. And she goes around and she's just a foul-mouthed little android girl, and she causes trouble, and she's hilarious. She's super strong. It's a pretty good game. It looks like there's like 9 stages, and I'm on stage 2. Or just finished stage 2? I can't remember. But anyways, come on out for that. It'll be great. Sunday, for Sunday Anime Chat, because it's April, and you know, to go with the April Fool's theme, I'm gonna do foolish and parody animes. So come on out and see some silly, bizarre, wacky, off the wall kind of foolish animes, and hopefully you'll see something you haven't seen before. So look forward to that on Sunday, and then circle around to Tuesday again, Trades Talk Tuesday. We'll talk about more training, I think, because I think it's important, and if it can make you better, look better on your resume, and keep a job better, you know, I think that's good. It benefits you. All the training you can get is better. Speaking of better, Dragon Quest is better. Yes, but I didn't want to do Dragon Quest. I wanted to do a game that was even before Dragon Ball. So yes, thanks everyone. I appreciate you all coming out here, sticking by me even when I had a hard time starting the stream. You guys are great. I will definitely see you all around on Saturday. Hope to see you there. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.